Okay, we are almost finished. I mean, this close and we will be done with season 12 and can move forward to season 13 in Houston. What's up? How you doing? Ray of Sunshines. I am your girl Talisa Ray, lifestyle coach. We are reviewing Married at First Sight season number 12, the reunion part 1. Not sure as to why this had to be split up into 2 parts and what we got left other than Haley and Jacob. I'm just not clear, but we're gonna go with it. Kevin Messy Frazier is our host, and listen, the way he sets up his nonchalant questions, I'm a fan too, so I want to know too, like, with no care that or regards to how they feel about it, I'm here for it. They are in 2 different locations. They're doing a video conferencing, and the first couple that we see is Eric and Virginia. So I mean, you can tell right off the top, their body language says that they are together, that they stayed together. So much so she moved into the condo. Remember all that fussing and fighting about how she didn't want to live there and it wasn't going to be comfortable? But honey, now it's more feminine and she didn't put her touch in it. You know, and she says the more we put into it, the more I might not want to leave. What happened? What happened? We all knew it was a nice condo. He has given her the whole spare bedroom for her clothes and her cats. Okay, it's still up in the air whether or not he's allergic to cats or not. She said she was there 3 weeks before he started sneezing. He just don't like cats, and that's the thing. Not like I don't like cats. That's the thing. However, he did say, you know, how he was portrayed or whatever, he saw what people saw, and that he is working on his issues, meaning his controlling behavior, I suppose. And then, you know, Virginia's like, yeah, we're working things out. Nothing's perfect, but, you know, we're working through it. I mean, y'all still over there trying to determine who gonna give in first and how you gonna move forward from whatever the situation is that you guys, you know, are disagreeing. Child, I had a little drink. Disagreeing about. Ooh-wee. We see some never before seen footage of Virginia prior to wedding day. Honey, she had a positive COVID test. You know, it was almost that it wasn't, they almost didn't make it. They almost didn't make it. They almost threw probably some other couple in, or maybe just left it at 4. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, it was a false positive. I guess she took 2 or 3 more tests and found out that it was a false positive, and she did not have COVID. So here come Kevin, okay, Mr. Frazier, asking the questions that we want to know. You know, early on, we were concerned about your partying and the alcoholism. He didn't say alcoholism, but he said something like your consumption of alcohol, but whatever, alcoholism, okay? And she was like, oh no, it was just portrayed like that. That's not really who I am. I really don't go out that much, and I don't drink that much. Girl, every time we saw you, you was opening a drink. Ain't no way that could all be portrayed falsely. You had to be drinking. I get Vegas. Like Vegas, you go and you turn up and you get toe up and you have a funky good time. But when you got back home, you were still popping bottles and you were still liking your wine. And your mannerisms say you drink too much. And her talking about she doesn't hang out with her friends that often, or she doesn't go out with her friends that often. Listen. You remember her saying she parties Thursday through Sunday. Maybe she didn't mean every day. Maybe she just meant those are the days that I choose to party, and one week I party Thursday and Saturday, and the next time it's Friday and Sunday. Sometimes it's all the days. I don't know. It just felt like, you know, she was trying to recover from what she saw on the TV screen. Eric went right along with it, honey, right along with it, and said, you know what, it's not a real issue. It was a real issue. You said it was a real issue. This whole doubling back does not work for me. And that she doesn't do it that much. She doesn't go out and drink that much. Kevin asked Virginia about the controlling issue. She said, you know what, I think control was the wrong word usage. It was not control. Well, what was it? Because everybody saw that it was control. Ooh, ooh, now I'm all grown up. Girl. The one thing I did like is Eric said, you know what, it was an eye-opener seeing myself on TV. It was like he said, I saw myself, and I saw myself as controlling and a pompous ass. I saw myself acting like I was the end-all be-all on what it was supposed to be when it was to be married. I wish Virginia would have had that kind of epiphany her own damn self. You know, and I like that they said the biggest thing that they need to work on is their communication and how they speak to one another. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest things in any relationship is communication. Surprise! Eric's mom is there, you know, because remember, Eric's mom wanted kids. Eric's mom was a traditionalist, and she was like, I ain't with it. The facial expressions and shit that she showed felt like, yeah, no, this ain't it. She but went ahead and complimented Virginia, said that she was a sweet girl, and that she has mellowed Eric out quite a bit. Child. So when they talk about the kids, and she says, what about the 50-50? When she said that she was 50-50 on kids, you know, you had a look, and you know, the mom was like, it's in their timing, this is their marriage, etc. But that wasn't it. It was Virginia with her swapping of the story. Talk about something. Well, when I said 50-50, I meant that if he wanted kids, I could go with it, and if he didn't, I would be okay with that too. That's not what you meant. 50-50 does not have anything to do with the other person. It's all about me. I'm 50-50 with having children. If he wants to have children, then maybe, but I'm not really sure. That's 50-50. I don't know, child. The mom left them with some great advice, which was always be honest. So then we got to see Clara and Ryan, who too had the body language of people that were still together, still married, still working things out. You know what? I wrote down, I forgot that she said that she felt that he was controlling her. I had forgotten all about that. And as we see, his control worked very well. She definitely switched over to his way of thinking throughout the process. That they're living at Ryan's. We knew that they were going to do that because she was moving in episode 2, right? 2, 3. And that it feels like home. And that Miska feels like she's at home. And that they don't have really any communication issues. That they have direct communication. Which I guess is great. Like, nobody wants to fucking have to figure out what you're saying and going all around the mulberry bush and whatnot. You know, listen. Kevin asked the question. What y'all going to do about kids? How y'all planning on raising kids, you know, spiritually and everything? What is y'all's thing? And he said, we're sorting that out. We are sorting it out, and we are working through it for us first before bringing someone into the relationship. Okay, so, you know, they like, oh, we got a surprise announcement. I'm all like, is she pregnant or something? What's the surprise? They're going to get remarried. So I know y'all said y'all didn't see them on the poster for the couples cam, but I think that they're going to end up maybe having a spinoff because they're getting remarried. What y'all think? Ryan and Clara gets remarried? What y'all think? Or is he too private for that? Y'all let me know down below in the comments. I be making it up that they planning for it and shit. Because they really wanted to celebrate with family, and considering the pandemic and not being able to have so many people there. And I wrote down, that's money that y'all just blowing. You can have a party and celebrate. You can get her a new ring and celebrate. You don't need a whole ass wedding. And that's why I think that it's going to be televised and it's going to be paid by Lifetime, because there is no fucking way I would want to spend money on another wedding. I mean, I know what a wedding costs, you know, and all of it is for everyone else. It is not for the benefit of you. So I don't know, give a party and celebrate. Give a hell of a reception and celebrate. That's how I feel. I like, though, if y'all remember in the beginning when Kevin and the I should be one of those people, I can't think of they're not reviewers, but they, like, you know, they are reviewers, were giving their opinions on who would make it and who wasn't. He was like, I don't see them making it at all. And then he called them out. We made it. And specifically, this is for the naysayers that thought we weren't going to make it. Talking about you, Kevin. Kevin asked Clara about her fear of love and if she still had that. And she said it went away, of not being loved or whatever. It went away after she read his letter. And I remember that letter being very moving. But we didn't know that he had never said I love you. We didn't know that. That wasn't in the plan at the time. They showed us the clip where she said, if he hasn't said it in 6 months, then I'm out. And Kevin was like, so it's been 6 months. Has he said I love you? When she was like, no. I was like, then why say things that you don't mean? I just don't understand why people do that. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Kevin. See? I don't get it. Kevin says, well, I don't understand why are you renewing your vows if you haven't said I love you. What's the point of renewing your vows? Kevin Frazier. Do you love her? I mean, I don't mean to be in y'all business or nothing, but do you love her? He said, I think I do. I love you. I do. I love my wife. You know, and Clara's excited about it. She says it feels good to hear it, but she's known it based on his actions. Sometimes someone's actions will tell you much louder than the words that they say that they love you. So I'm glad that she got what she wanted within the time frame that she needed. I think that too might have been a setup by the producers just so that it could be one of those moments. You know, because every year they have one of those moments. And last year was Woody and Amani when he asked her to marry him with a ring, right? Remember? I remember. Oh, when we used to play shoot 'em up, bang, bang, baby. Okay, you were right. Bianca, girl, you right. I got a song for everything. I mean, everything, don't I? So then they played a clip where, or did they do it before or after? He asked, though, I'm being nosy, have y'all consummated your wedding? Have y'all done the grown up? Have y'all crossed the line? Did y'all do the horizontal mamba? Did y'all do it? What's the tea? We want to know. I'm a fan and I want to know because she was frustrated. So then they play the clip for us. Because, you know, they want to keep things quiet and secret unto themselves. Where she goes off with the girls and talks about how she ain't getting pleased. But he getting off every night. Well, he says, you know what? I can't be upset about how she feels. The world wants to tell us how we're supposed to feel. So I cannot be mad at that. Kudos to you, Ryan. Even though you probably were feeling a way that she actually had divulged this with her friends who are now her sisters, right? Kudos to you, because it's a thing. All of us reviewers, all of the world, everybody who's watching is definitely telling y'all what y'all supposed to do. So I commend you on that. And then they go around the mulberry bush like, oh, we might watch TV or we might this or did we cook dinner the other day together? Meaning, yes, it was a roundabout way of saying that they had consummated their wedding, with their marriage, without saying they consummated their marriage. Then they said, you know what? He said, you know, remember when Dr. Viviana was like, is Ryan a virgin? Are you? Tell us, what's up? Is you a virgin? Is that what the problem was? Honey, he just chuckled and was like, no, I'm not. That's what he said. So, let's talk about Brianna and Vincent, shall we? Vincent got a little hair on his head. What y'all think about that? You like him bald head or with the hair? Hair. I think that she said she liked men with beards. I don't think she said she liked bald head men. You know, he's receding a little bit. We saw that. You saw that. And so that's how come most men will shave their heads, because they are receding. The hairline is way too far back. Us as women, our hairlines recede too, but we don't have like the cowlicks where it be, you know, I'm talking about. Anyway, so because he's Dominican, he's able to brush that forward. I actually think he's an attractive man either way, bald head or with hair. Listen, it's what it is. So we knew that they were going to move into Vincent's apartment. It's a lot smaller. It's a 1-bedroom. And what she shares with us is that I have learned that I need to compromise. Y'all know that's one of my C's, right? Communication, commitment, compromise. That we needed to compromise. And that I can't have everything my way. I can't say that the dishes need to be in the sink. Like, there's some things that you could say. Like the dishes should be in the sink. Or that the bed should be made every day. If you want the bed made every day, you have to make the bed every day. Like, I don't see a problem with it, except for, most women, not all of us, want to go get back in bed. That's why we don't make up our bed. My bed is made right now. I made it like in the afternoon because I took one of them good ass naps that I didn't know I needed. Anyway, that's too much information, I guess. So Mr. Frazier asked, how is it with blending the families? There's no problem. I didn't think that there was going to be a problem. And are you going to take her to the DR? Absolutely. He's going to take her to the Dominican Republic so she can experience his heritage first on. I'm sure that's a lot of where his family is, and they need to meet her. He mentions that they have future plans of buying a home, and then what about kids, you know. And we found out that Vincent's nephew came over, they babysat, and Vincent was like, yeah, we could wait because it's a lot of work. And now she has baby fever. The woman that did not want kids for 2 to 3 years, and he wanted one in a year from now. You know, sort of like Greg and Deanna. She didn't want none. I don't think, or not at least right away. Nevertheless, now she has baby fever and she's not afraid of her high blood pressure because common sense tells you that you will be watched. But in that same breath, black women have we have a hard time getting the care that we need. So we know that she needs to find the right doctor, possibly one that looks like her and that has had children and is a high risk doctor. But I'm sure she'll work that out. They'll work that out together. When they talked about her being bossy, you know, when it was brought up, he was like, oh, I didn't take it that way. Like, I don't understand with this flip-flop. Like, are they flounders outside of the water? Like, fish and like, not knowing. Everybody seems to be flip-flopping on what they felt during the season and what was implied. Like, some of the stuff was actually vocalized. It was the feel that we got. Like, I'm confused and I don't understand why. But okay, that's not what you meant. That's what you meant. You said you didn't want a woman who was direct and assertive. AKA a woman that's bossy. You know, I'm just really glad that Kevin wasn't afraid to ask the damn questions. I mean, he was in a different place and they could pay me. Like, I'll do it. I can read from the card, and you know, listen, I'll be a little more messier than him, but I could do it. I won't make nobody be fighting or nothing, but I could do it. Anyway, he asked Vincent, like, so what's up? He was sensitive. What's up? I mean, I just wrote down sensitive as a reference point to what he was saying. So he asked about his sensitivity. Listen, Bianca, every time I sing, I am going to officially think of you. Every time I sing something related to what I'm talking about. Nevertheless, he says that it had a lot to do with his anxiety. On top of that, being watched by millions of people, you know. And I can understand it. Like, not everybody is an extrovert, and it's easy. It's easy not to give a fuck about what people think. Like, he's like, I was concerned, where Brianna was like, I didn't care. I don't care. But he did. And that's the thing. I mean, we do need to probably consider that, put ourselves in his shoes as it relates to him being sensitive. But Kevin was like, okay, that's what's up. But what's up with that temper, though? He said, you know what, it's the same thing. I'm shy, and you know, I want it to be perfect, you know, and so, you know, he agrees. He asked him, was it about his temper, did he think that he overreacted or some shit like that? And he was like, I definitely was overreacting. I'm so glad that he understands that he was overreacting and that he needed to not be overreacting. We see some never before seen footage of Vincent making a boot camp up at the house child. He had on the whole outfit with the water and the water bottles and the you know, like, he went all out. And you know, I personally can appreciate a man that would want to work out with me, especially if I'm trying to get my sexy back and try and be fit and etc. You know what I'm saying? So I feel I can definitely understand and appreciate that, even though it was like a joke or whatever, but it was thoughtful to me. He gave Brianna a little Spanish test. It was cute. It was cute. She ain't know a lot of Spanish. Them words he should have known. She should have known a lot of that stuff. Donde está? Where is this? You know what I'm saying? Like, you should have known. That's the stuff. But maybe she didn't take Spanish in high school, because that's the stuff you learn when you take Spanish in high school. I told y'all I've been drinking. I've been drinking. Anyway, so then we see the ladies all together. And of course they talk about how they have a bond. I don't know, one of them stupid girls was like, well, that wasn't nice, but I said it, was like, I think our bond is stronger than any other season. You don't know anything about those seasons and the bonds that those women have created. You have no clue. Now, Karen last season didn't seem like she rocked with too many of them girls, but for the most part, all them other seasons, a lot of them people built great bonds. Look at Mika and Taylor. They had made a great bond. I wonder if they still friends. Anybody know? Let me know down below in the comments. This was the main part. Kevin said, save that man's reputation. My eyelash. It's always this eyelash. I got to maybe cut it. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do next time. Let's see. Save the man's reputation, Haley. You said that there was no connection. Did you mean all together sexually and everything? He said from a fan standpoint, you were saying that it was horrible. We got the impression that it wasn't any good. She said, well, when I realized that I wasn't attracted to him and we didn't have really much in common, I thought I would lean towards sexual chemistry and see if that was what it was. And she left it at that. She said that the man's sex was trash. She didn't even give him a chance to redeem himself. Sometimes people be nervous. Sometimes people ain't had sex in a while, because etc. She didn't even give a man a chance to redeem himself. She pretty much told us that it was the straw that broke the camel's back, that was too much, it was enough, I was over it. Sorry, no sir, no ma'am, no thank you. I didn't even want to try it again. We had nothing, not even sexual chemistry, which is sometimes the thing that will bond you when you are drunk. Then all the ladies said when they saw them that they knew that it was a mismatch from the jump, that they just did not fit. She wasn't the quirky that he needed, that Married at First Sight was looking for. Kevin asked, have you spoken to Jacob since? She said, nope, not since decision day, and he has blocked me on everything, on all social media. I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I don't blame him at all. You weren't very nice, and I can't wait to see what the fuck he got to say about you. Right now, you get to say whatever you want about him. I cannot wait to hear him go off, Jacob. Go off. You know, which one of y'all was saying that Virginia and Haley was the same? Because she was like, we have similar lifestyles. Not no more, girl. She married. But I get that y'all party and be drinking and hanging out and want your autonomy, etc. Independence. Kevin asked Paige how hard was it to watch the other couples as they bonded, etc. And she said it was hard. It was hard because it was something that she really wanted. And the people agreed that she wanted it more than anybody else, that she wanted to be married. Which again goes back to us understanding why she accepted what she did for so long, because of the simple fact that she wanted it so bad. I really feel like they should give Paige her own show. I told y'all that they should give that, you know, God brought us together. The Paige story. Meet 10 men that want to date Paige. You know what I'm saying? I think that they owe her that. They owe her that because they didn't do their due diligence in vetting fucking Chris. And Kevin has said, okay, so ladies, what were you telling her that was in support of her making a decision that was best for her? Brianna was like, I told her she needed to choose her, pretty much, and leave. Like, she was the only one, and we remember that. We remember it was in Vegas. Don't stay around because it sounds good or because you married to him on paper. Girl, this is a play marriage. We get married at first sight. You just met him. Like, it's okay, get it annulled. But they couldn't have got it annulled because they had already did the do and consummated the wedding. But definitely get your ass a divorce. What are we doing? Why are we here? Choose yourself. Virginia said, yeah, I would have been out. I would have been out after the honeymoon. I wouldn't have been staying. You know, listen. We can all say what we woulda, coulda, shoulda. Or what she coulda, woulda, shoulda. Whatever. Infer what we thought we would have done. I would say we don't know until we're in a situation. But the majority of us who have lived a little already know that that's something that we wouldn't have done, and that we probably have experienced a form of that, not in this severity, but a form of this type of foolishness and stupidity on our part, not on the guy's part. So we can relate, but she just took it to a higher level. Like, she just took it up higher than any of us could ever have imagined. Clara was like, it wasn't her, that he kept coming back to her. He kept coming back with his manipulation and telling her the things that he wanted, that she needed to hear, that he knew that she would hear. Yeah, it wasn't just her. He was manipulating her, but it was her responsibility to see the forest for the trees and not be manipulated and decide, you know what, it's okay. I'm good. No worries. But she didn't. It took her a minute. It took her a minute of being drugged through the mud, naked with rocks and fucking sticks, getting scraped, okay, and bruised in order for her to realize that this wasn't something for her. So then we see them at a Mexico trip. And they said, nah, we didn't talk nothing about no fucking, why do I have so many pages of this? Nothing about Married at First Sight. I'm looking at the pages of stuff I have about Paige and Chris. That is where we are. We are with Paige and Chris. Now, I'm going to just say this. Thank God that I don't have to tear her a new one. I mean, it was this close, especially when they started off talking about they had counseling to see if they could work after a third party who was removed from the situation and could help. I thought I was on my way to having to tell her something. But thank God, Paige, nobody needed to, well, somebody did tell you something, but you went ahead and took their advice. So I'm glad that that happened. Kevin said, y'all had considered moving in together too, didn't you? Had she said she had moved in with that sucker, that nigga, that fool, I would have been like, it's time. It's time. No matter whatever, negate everything after, it's time for us to have a heart-to-heart. That's what I would have said. But I thank God that it's not so bad, and I may still do. I don't know. We're gonna see. He asked, are you together? Are y'all together? No was the answer. And he said, it's because I'm immature. He asked, would you be if you could? Chris said, it is not fair to have this conversation because it's playing mind games, okay? So a little later, Kevin had said something that made perfectly good sense, but I'm gonna hold off for it just a second. Paige was like, hold up, swole up. Y'all asking the questions like it's just him. It was my choice too. Well, we asking the questions because it was just him, because you wasn't making the choices throughout the season. That is why the questions are directed towards Chris and not towards Paige. Because our fear is, if he would have said he wanted to work on things with you, our fear is that you would have said yes. So don't go getting all saucy now and spicy now talking about it's my decision too. Because when it was your decision, wholeheartedly your decision, you kept choosing yes. Every time he'd come back worming, snaking into your bed with his anaconda, okay, you kept saying yes, yes, yes. So don't be mad because he asked and they're pointing the questions towards him. That is the reason that those questions are pointed towards him. Hello, somebody. Let the church say amen down below in the comments. So just like I said, I think it was last episode, that the reunion was recorded before all the episodes had aired. It was, not the reunion, yeah, the reunion was recorded before all the episodes were aired, which also meant that she didn't get to see when he called her ugly. When he was like, you G-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Hey, hey, like, and was smirking and was serious. Asian queens, white queens, Mexican queen, Latin queen, whatever the hell he was saying, they showed it to her for the first time. And she was looking like, he asked, how does that make you feel? She said it broke her spirit to hear that. It broke her spirit to feel, to know that, to feel undesired and unwanted. Chris, listening to himself as he was watching it, knew he sounded foolish. And he was just out there to just say whatever and just be reckless. Kevin asked Chris, what would you say to the audience and her family? This dude, I repent to you all and apologize. I apologize to her mother and her father, and that I acted immature, and I'm disgusted and embarrassed. This is what Kevin said that I agree with. You have beautifully prepared trained answers that someone has helped you. Like you had a fucking publicist go and say, this is what you need to say to redeem yourself. He sounds exactly like somebody somebody has written that for him, because his words and his actions have never aligned. I mean, they be nice words, they sound good, but they are never aligned. And I wrote down, Kevin don't believe that shit like we don't believe that shit. Kevin said, asked Paige, do you regret sleeping with him so early on? And she said yes. Well, we knew that she was gonna sleep with him from because she was a freak. Hands down, she was a freak. She was buying lingerie. She was doing all the stuff that you do when you knew that it was going to be your husband. What she didn't know is that her husband was going to be such an asshole, a jerk, a fool even. Kevin was like, why did y'all keep having sex? We all want to know why y'all wanted to keep having sex. And they just refused to answer. Paige was like, she didn't want to have to keep answering about the decisions that she made. And that she wants to end things on a positive note. She wants to be respectful to herself and her family. So I guess looking back at it, look back at it. You realize that you was being real foolish. You didn't feel like that in the middle. You didn't want to respect yourself and your family during the time, so you should answer. I mean, Chris couldn't answer it because the sex was good. That's why he kept going back. We didn't understand why you kept going back, because it's no way. It's no way. So anyway, I'm all like, inquiring minds want to know, and we are inquiring minds, including Kevin. We all want to know why you kept going back. You could have been like, because the D was good, because it felt good, because pressure bust pipes. You could have gave us any of those answers and was like, and that clouded my judgment. Like, we would have accepted that. I know I would have. I mean, shit, we got to accept the answer you gave us now anyway. So, I mean, come on. Listen, Kevin, come on, messy Kevin. When did you know Mercedes was first pregnant? When did you know that Mercedes was pregnant? He said, after the wedding day, I wouldn't have married her. I wouldn't have had her walk down the aisle had I known that Mercedes was pregnant. Now, y'all know I don't, listen, that could be true. I don't know. It could, like I told y'all last week, I don't know how true and if the stuff was made up. I don't know. Kevin. Y'all and the producers put together great questions, and Kevin, you did the delivery just as you should. Were you still in love with Mercedes? He said, Chris, that's not fair. That's not fair to answer in front of Paige. That is the answer. Hello, sir. It's not fair to answer in front of Paige is the answer. That is a yes answer. I was still in love with Mercedes when I got married. Hello. I mean, do y'all disagree with that? Let me know down below in the comments if it is something that you disagree with. I just don't know why he would think that answer was sufficient. And then he was like, you bought a Mercedes for Mercedes. Does she still have the car? Man, it's just the car. It is not just the car. You bought a Mercedes for Mercedes. Mercedes no longer has the baby, but Mercedes still has the car. He's like, I just don't want to, I don't want to relive all of this. And Paige admits that it was hurtful. Of course it was. Like, we made a vow together. Then they show us when Pastor Dwight met up with Paige and had a conversation with Paige. And you can see how Chris was visibly unhappy in that little corner square down there. How he was like writhing with anger. Come through, Kevin. Come through. Will you mend that relationship with Pastor Dwight? He said, Chris says, I'm not in a place to do so right now. Listen. Kevin and them producers is messy as fuck. Well, we're gonna speed up the process right now. Pastor Dwight is here in the background. Listen, that felt like a fucking scene from Maury Povich, okay? And she's in the back. And the baby is your baby. Like, it just felt hella messy. Like, I was like, y'all don't have no respect for people's space or privacy, but you went on TV, so I guess you wouldn't. I guess you wouldn't. Oh, child, honey, listen, the face that he had looked like, I don't know what happened. Like, this some bullshit. Like, I told y'all I didn't fuck with him, and y'all brought him on here. Like, I was here for it. Anyway, so Pastor Dwight brings his ass out. I mean, that's an attractive man, that pastor, but you know, y'all say what y'all say. But I still think that he's an attractive man, even with all the dark polish and stuff that he has. When he starts to speak and he tells us that his intent for their relationship was to be a spiritual mentor, someone to give him guidance, and when it wasn't received, that he pulled back. Because if you're not gonna hear what I'm saying, as your spiritual mentor, and I'm giving you guidance as someone you respect, if you're not hearing it, then I'm gonna pull back on that relationship. And that's what I did, sir. I love you and I want the best for you, Chris. Like, I thought that was very, very classy of him. And he probably should have started off with, I probably should have reached out to you first and said that I wanted to have a conversation with Paige. That's probably how he should have started. And I was wrong and I apologize. That probably would have soothed a lot or calmed a lot of it down. Maybe not soothed, because Chris is just a fool and that's just what he be doing. Then, you know, after all that spiritual guy advisor and giving you guidance, Chris was like, hold up, that I call bullshit, that's bullshit. I considered you a friend and a brother, not a mentor. Don't come for me. That's Chris. And I stand by that you should have came to me, because I'm the one that introduced you to her. You don't just go straight to the source. Homeboy was like, I ain't had no time. Oh, no. Before he said that, he said it felt like you were diminishing Mercedes while you were uplifting Paige. That was what he was doing. And you got so upset because you were what? Still in love with Mercedes. These actions show where your loyalty lied. It was not to your new wife that you just met, the one that was not so attractive to you, but for Mercedes with the lisp. That's who you want. I said what I said. I said what I said. She sucked her thumb. She has a lisp. I said what I said, okay? Not to say like that's a problem for the rest of y'all, but I just had to say. Like, you want to act like you putting her on the pedestal like she's perfect. None of us are perfect. Under this here eye concealer, because that's all I wear, is dark circles. Like, nobody's perfect. But we know that you loved her the way you were defending her in this moment. Kevin Frazier was like, hold on, but you just was diminishing Paige. How you finna? Because I loved her. I love her. Right? How you finna? Kevin said, so what do you think, Paige? And she was like, it breaks my spirit. And tells Chris, the pastor loves you. Pastor Dwight loves you, Chris. Child. He said, let me interject. Pastor Dwight, let me interject. This is where shit gets real. I mean, it was already real. But he was like, Chris does not like correction. I was like, the end. Chris does not like correction. He probably has not ever been corrected. And when someone tells you, I think you're making the wrong decision, or this looks foolish, or you need to sit on it for a while, you want to get mad and upset. You want to buck up and fight, my nigga. Like, what? He does not like correction. We knew that, though. We said that he does not like. When we saw the scene when he was talking to them about breaking up with, or leaving, divorcing Paige, we said it then, and I said it. He did not like correction. And I guess, you know, in the middle, there's some words being exchanged. Chris is saying curse words and stuff. And listen, Pastor Dwight was like, listen, what you not gonna do is disrespect me on here. That's what you not finna do. Just because a man is a pastor don't mean he ain't with the shits. A lot of pastors, before they were pastors, was with the shit. They did not come out being holier than thou. They had to go through some hills and some valleys and were with the shits. Regular Chris, old Chris, the one we know, the one that don't have no script and didn't remember what the publicist, what his paid publicist had said for him to do, etc. Showed up. He showed up. Kevin reminds him how he had been doing so well throughout the show. Let's stay in that vein. Let's stay cool. Oh, for you, Kevin, for you, Kevin, for you, Kevin. No, it should be for yourself so that you can look like you have actually made some fucking progress with your attitude, behavior, that your character and your morals and values have now uplifted from what we've seen throughout the entire fucking season, yo. So, I mean, like, because he's really being belligerent. He's not my spiritual cousin. I mean, he's not my spiritual covering. Calm down. Like, it's a whole bunch of mess that I don't think grown men should be in. Like, I don't think grown women should be disagreeing in this manner. It should be respectful. I mean, you a man of God too, right, Chris? Wasn't you a pastor? Didn't you say you was once a pastor? What didn't you? You should have at least, if nothing else, respect for him as a man of the cloth, I suppose. Pastor Dwight says, you know what, I understand what he's saying. I didn't have the time to navigate that. Chris becomes even more belligerent. Like, that's when you knew it changed, because he said, you're gonna stop cursing at me, bruh. That ain't gonna work, bruh. Like, you knew there was the switch. Like, the first time around, you're gonna not disrespect me on this platform. That's not what you're gonna do. You're not gonna disrespect me on the show. That was cool, but this is when it clicked. You're gonna stop cursing at me, bruh. Like, Chris gets up. You got a problem with me? We can go to the parking lot. We can take it to the parking lot. I was like, this is what you do in high school. Shit, not even high school. In middle school. Like, we can take it outside. Listen. With Pastor Dwight, I looked at him and was like, Pastor Dwight will probably beat your ass. Like, he's thinking clearly. I don't know, y'all. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, because that is how it ended. It ended in chaos. And per usual, Chris chose violence. Paige is holding herself in disbelief, like not understanding, about to chase after the man that's not her man, that didn't want her, that called her ugly, said she was unattractive, really fucked her, dumped her, and it's a lot. It's a lot. The one thing that I can say is that I'm glad that she is not still with him. She was foolish for a little bit with that whole counseling shit. But I wanted to see Dwight, like, whoop his ass. Y'all think he would have got beat up? Let me know down below in the comments. I am your girl, Talisa Ray. Thank you so much for watching my review of Married at First Sight, Season 12, Reunion Part 1. It's a lot to unpack, and specifically in the Chris and Paige segment. The rest of it was just as we thought it would be, minus the Haley and Jacob part. That hoe said his dick was trash. That's what she said. It was trash, okay? Listen, let's not even mince words. I was nice when I said it was so good. She said it was trash, garbage. Anyway, we're going to see what he say next week. I'm excited about that, if nothing else. Listen, if it's your first time visiting my channel, what you waiting on? Click the subscribe button and become a ray of sunshine. There's that notification bell. Click it as well. You'll be alerted of all the videos I upload, especially when you hit all, A-L-L, all, not personalized, all. Hit the like button because you like me and I will know that it's real. Share it with the people, even though we at the end of the season. Share it with the people because you know we like to talk in the comments down below, and that's what I want. Let's get them popping. I love you in real life and want every good thing that God has in store for you, even if you don't know what that is for yourself. Hugs and kisses and lots of love. I will see you on the next review, which is Ready to Love.